this evening for our February meeting of our Public Safety Committee for Brooklyn Community Board 9. My name is Fred Baptiste, serving as the Public Safety Chair. At this time, we will go around. If I would ask if members could please introduce themselves.
My name is Eric, Community Committee, a resident committee member, and I'm here to put my input in.
Shania Hartley, board member.
Marcy Maxwell.
Slati Matchkin, board member.
Okay, thank you. And with that, I hear a quorum, so we can actually begin at this time. Rules of order are going to be waived. They are posted on the Brooklyn Community Board website. And of course, our only ask is that we just make sure that everybody's always respectful in debate and we allow people to speak when they have the floor as well. Okay, we're going to go quickly now to item number 4, which is the approval of the January committee minutes. The minutes should be here. If I would just allow a minute for our board members, if you have any questions or any corrections to be made.
Yes, I don't remember Balboa being here in January.
They were not. Item I, if you look at there, it says recommendation received for information, no action taken.
Got it.
So for Balboa and Ish, it's the same thing.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, corrections?
Right, and then Zurilee's on the back.
I do have a question, I don't know if this is the time. Did we ever get the information that we asked them for?
To resubmit the form so that they tell us the correct time.
I will check with the office about that, but I know that the board we stipulated,
Yeah.
we're not sending a letter until we got that.
Okay.
So I'll confirm with the office. Okay. Any other questions or corrections? Okay, hearing none. Is there any objection to adopting the minutes by common consent?
No objection.
Hearing no objection, the minutes are adopted by common consent. Thank you very much. Okay, we are going to now, items 4 and 5, we are going to table as we do not have representatives from FDNY and NYPD. FDNY, I believe, at an earlier meeting, they said that because their representative covers the borough, they can't come to all meetings, but we'll try and see if we can schedule them to come to one of our meetings soon. I've already had a conversation with the board office in terms of speaking with NYPD, because we do need a representative from there because we're only dealing with the one precinct. And I know that the district manager had actually given up his time in the district service cabinet meeting to say, you don't have to come to that meeting, come to ours. So we need to find out what's going on with that, and they need to be consistent between there. So we're gonna work on that. We're gonna send a letter to the commanding officer, and we're gonna try and make sure that they come here and consistent with the rest of the year.
At least somebody from community affairs.
Absolutely.
Or the new program that they did set up.
Yes.
Which actually is very effective.
UT?
I utilized it.
Okay.
I'm gonna sit here
You
for
mean
a second.
the-
It's not to hurt your back when you first call 311.
We're all on one side.
And my team
so
worked.
Cars were
yeah,
parking
worked.
on the
easier.
block
Okay.
during the snow, like on the block,
Okay.
blocking
Mm-hmm.
the street.
All right.
311 within an hour.
Okay.
Calling for fire hydrant, I'm not getting a response.
And take pictures and upload it into the app.
Maybe the picture matters, I don't always upload a picture.
Pictures are always good. Anytime you're doing anything.
Especially into the app now.
Yes.
Into the data system within 45
What's the
minutes.
app?
311 app.
The 3-1, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, moving on. We're going to go to item 7. So the 3 items that we have for SLA, these are all renewals, as we had discussed at the last meeting and at the board meeting as well. For renewals, because SLA has advised that they're not taking the recommendations, they're only taking complaints directly. We keep them on the agenda just so that way we can eye these, and if there's any glaring issues, we can kind of monitor those as well. But the office did actually supply the notices that came out. So I think there were no complaints. There were 1 or 2 items that they pointed out, specifically with Brooklyn Fleet, Smorgasburg, where there are more concerns around traffic. So we're gonna work with the district office in terms of, and the NYPD in terms of when that happens to talk about what kind of controls we can put around it to improve the situation.
So Parks Department.
Absolutely. So, but this is good in terms of, and I guess this is one of the benefits of doing this. This reminds us of certain conversations we need to have, and if there's certain other things. So it may not always be about the establishment, but it might be about the environment around that time as well, and what resources we
So they don't have to come to our meeting, they don't have to come to the general board meeting
They do
either?
not,
For renewals.
for renewals.
Because that's what was said during our training.
Correct.
They said no matter what, unless there's an inflamed scenario tied to their most recent liquor license, then we are going to just move. They said we're gonna move forward in general, but they'll take into consideration new things if a report on just cause comes. But if it's a renewal, they're going to renew it unless something comes to it that they don't feel as though they should renew it.
Yeah, and to that point as well, as that'll be one of the items we're gonna consider when we put the framework out, is making sure we're able to funnel those complaints directly to SLA so that way they're on file. We also wanna try and figure out a process by which way we know about it as well, so that way we can follow up. So even before it becomes an issue, as long as we know that there are certain complaints in the system, the board office has the ability to say, hey, what's going on?
So if they get the complaints, are they gonna funnel it to us so that we know?
SLA,
What's the
it doesn't sound like they're gonna funnel them to us, but we just wanna make sure if there are significant complaints that they do get to SLA. So we wanna make sure that. But the other piece of that too, again, I just wanna make sure that we don't get cut out of the process. I still believe in the 311s, because one, it lets us know when there are issues, and two, it gives the board office an opportunity to mediate or intervene if they need to. So if there's an owner, they're having persistent issues, we can talk to them and say, you gotta cut it out, and hopefully get some resolution, so. But those will be the things that we're considering when we reconvene next month and we talk about the framework. Okay? All right, okay, well, let me stop there. Are there any questions about those renewals there? Any questions or concerns otherwise? Okay, all right, great. Item 8 on the agenda, I put it on just because I want to reignite the conversation with regards to the framework. So we've had some previous conversations. I know that, this has been delayed for a minute in terms of we want to get the framework together. I wanted to put it back together, especially in light of one of the things that I brought up at the board meeting, was that we want to look at our infrastructure and some of our policies and procedures and the way we're doing things. So this is really the perfect time to bring this back up and establish this, especially as we talk about other changes we may make to the committees and how the board is structured. So the expectation is I'm going to make sure that we have this in front of us, this draft at least by next month, that we can work on. If we can get materials done earlier, I will have those sent out as well so people can make commentary and we can get them done as well.
Sorry for any tardiness.
All right,
Good evening.
good evening. And for the record, we also have Member Cohen and Member Carr. All right, so we have you on the attendance as well. All right, just to give you the 60-second overview. FDNY and NYPD are not here. We're going to try and get them into the next meetings. And we discussed very briefly the renewals for our conversation last time. We're not going to discuss the renewals, but they're going to be on the agenda for informational purposes. In your packages, you'll see that Mia made notations on the applications about if there were any complaints or if there were other issues that we wanted to discuss. Notably, we just wanted to point out with Brooklyn Fleet, not so much complaints, but we did have received concerns about the traffic control around Lincoln Road when they're in the season. So that's a conversation we're gonna have, the district office is gonna have.
Kent Avenue?
Sorry,
That's
Kirk.
right. No, that's their parent office.
Oh yeah, that's the office, but it's actually in the park, that's why they come to us.
Where are they in the park?
And then go down Lincoln Road, keep going, and then you make a slight right.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, like you cross the street, when you look left or right, do the cross, and then you go straight, because there is,
You go to the right is a tiny little mini playground.
no, you gotta go past the playground. Past the playground,
Yeah.
past the bathroom.
You'll see a small, like, walkway.
Mhm.
And then it's-
Our
Right,
applications
so on
are
the left
so
side is the
not like,
Audubon Center.
our applications are so not clear
The
because
Railroad Center
it
is
says-
this way. I feel like
it
it's
says
that way.
street address of establishment, so it shouldn't be
Right,
90
so
Kent
you're
Avenue,
not
because now
going
that's
as
street
far.
avenue,
That's probably for
across the park.
That's for
Yes.
Brooklyn
Just
Fleet,
the
but the location, does it have the location in there? The
No.
location is in the park.
You gotta pass them.
No, but that's what I was saying, our application doesn't have location in general.
East Drive, Fred, very quickly, East Drive is the road, what you doing to Prospect
Right.
Park.
No, what this one is saying is that,
State Lincoln Road end?
That's an error, it's supposed to be East Drive. East Drive, when you walk into Prospect Park, is East Drive.
I don't know why they.
I'm sorry, is this yours?
Yeah, so they go straight.
So that's a technical error, it's East Drive.
Going in the center.
And if you turn the page around on the second part, it gives you the
Go
New
to
York
Lincoln Road, when you
Parks
go to
and
the
Rec,
right,
the main office.
is the Audubon Center.
The main office in Manhattan, so we don't really have any place, so they have to sit and discuss where it is exactly, because we don't have it anywhere on the application where it actually is.
What do you mean, put signs up?
Oh,
90
so-
Kent, that's one of where they do it at. And that's a different board, because that's a park over there,
Right.
because they have multiple.
Right, so this should just have the street address, Prospect Park, East Drive, and I don't know if it's this 1210, if that's correct either, East Drive, and it shouldn't say 90 Kent Avenue, it should say Prospect Park. I don't know what exactly Prospect Park, is it in the rink or whatever?
No, it's not in the ring, it's,
Just in like a large parking lot kind of thing.
So it should have some kind of like clarity of this.
Maybe Kent was the original location before they
Kent is one of
started.
their
Right.
Yeah,
locations.
before they
And it's
branched
still
out,
there.
so they
Yeah.
using
That's the
that
Berg in
as
Schwartz.
their
Right, that's
headquarter
the Berg.
address.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe that's also a headquarters. Their
Right.
initial, the very first one used to be at Bishop Lockland Schoolyard.
Right.
Right, but we should request like, well, we spoke about this 100 times, the application changing, but a lot of these places have like LLCs, or they have one location, like a parent location,
Right.
and that's not what should be for Community Board 9, because we're not Kent Avenue, so it doesn't matter what their parent location is, it matters what's the good connection to us, right?
Well, the other piece of that that we discussed as well, I mean, on the one hand, we want to make sure the applications are correct, but the other piece of it is because it's renewal, it's not going through us, it's going directly to SLA. So, and that's the reason why we just wanted for informational purposes to say, yes, they're putting it in, so we have that. And to the point where at least the other environmental concerns, we want to make sure we're addressing in terms of traffic control, if there's any other issues coming out.
Right, especially this one that has, concerns, we should have the right address. The ones that don't have concerns and they didn't have any 311s and they didn't have anything, I get it. I'm not even looking at their addresses, but the one that has the concerns. Cause I remember even when he came. Do you remember when he came?
No, that was the one who runs the
The
ring.
rink? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
There's like always people with attitude and then like,
Yeah, but the rink, that's left rack lane.
Right.
Correct, yes.
Separate entity.
right, that's what she's saying.
Yeah, this is just,
So we don't even know these people, is that it? Did we ever meet them?
I mean, they have licenses in the district.
So 2 years, how often do they have to renew?
They renew every 2 years.
Right, so
But
2 years
remember-
ago, probably when I was here, probably.
Yeah, but per SLA, remember, they just automatically renew them unless they
Right,
have complaints.
right. Unless they have complaints, so what's their complaints?
There were no complaints listed for those two.
Well, you told me the park is something to do with the traffic.
Traffic.
No. Yeah, the only concern, it wasn't so much as a complaint with, like noise or something like that. It's more about the traffic on Lincoln, when they have the event, in terms of, you see traffic snarling up. So the only thing we were saying, well, part of what the suggestion was to talk with NYPD to see if they can do any traffic calming around there. So when they're in season, if there's more cops or they need to do more traffic control, whatever they need to do, try and use that over there.
Well, that should be included in the permit that they have when they have that event, right? The traffic and issues and stuff like that. I mean, it shouldn't even be brought up in this. where
Well,
we
well,
are
remember,
right
this is
now,
not a
because
permit.
That's an outside.
Well, remember, this
issue,
isn't a
though.
permit, this is just for the liquor license, for them to be able to serve.
Right,
So.
but I'm saying,
Right.
as far as the traffic, that shouldn't even be involved with this, their renewal or whatever, or brought up.
Right, it is, and that's more for information.
I think that's an MTA and DOT issue, because the 16 is over there, the 43 and the 48,
Right.
again, are all on a street that's like.
Right, so the public safety concern isn't so much about the alcohol, the SLA license, but it is about the traffic and
But
the
public
other.
safety is us with traffic.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah,
Right,
so what do we do? What are we doing with
well,
this
and,
renewal?
and that's the thing, with the renewal, there's nothing for us to do because SLA is gonna do that. This is only for informational purposes for us.
We're gonna try to refer that to, the community affairs or Connors
Right.
or somebody like that
So
to
Dante-
see what they can do.
Dante, Mia, and Allison are gonna have a conversation with them saying, listen, we know Smorgasburg is coming in April. This is a persistent issue, so we can have a conversation with NYPD, DOT, whoever we need to have the conversations with, to see what they can do to try and ease that up.
And you know what else ends up out there? Because they see the flow of traffic, it's a guerrilla marketing situation where you see other food trucks or other businesses that
Right.
then get right into that intersection, which then narrows down the street as well. So it is a sort of scenario where, because they know it's gonna be such a great flow of traffic and a lifestyle, it's a very and a certain amount of people who are coming there to spend money.
Right, they're gonna park their trucks in there, get on
Right.
in there with
Then you have city
everybody
bikes.
else.
Right.
And city bikes, right, exactly. And all the buses,
I have a grill set, with hot dog,
yeah, you
Grill
know.
sell hot dogs.
So I think that all of that becomes then I can't think of the word, I'm just on the clock. Yeah, but, so there's so many facets
Absolutely.
to it, that people aren't realizing all of the factors that come in to play in regards to, it's like 55 apartment buildings on that one block,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
all it is.
But that's why, that's the important reason why, and again, this really underscores the reason why it's important for us to keep these things on here. Because it serves as a reminder, it's like, okay, fine, even if we're not doing the liquor license specifically, there are other things that the board should have a conversation about with respect to safety.
Should or will.
Well, no, I said that we're gonna have the district office is gonna contact NYPD, DOT, and all those other agencies to talk about, these are the concerns we have with it. Because this is something that's been persistent over years, not specifically with there, but they need to do something about, okay, when the smorgasburg is there, do you have enough traffic people there? Are you watching out for people who have,
Double park.
yeah, who are double parking, who are, all the food trucks that all of a sudden aren't a part of the event but want to do it, or be on the parking, cause congestion, those kinds of issues. And it speaks to something else as well, that, this is something that we're trying to get with NYPD. And this is something we've talked about before. We need to be involved in the planning of these things and these conversations. There's too many times all these city agencies rubber stamp these things, and by the time they get here, we are hearing from our constituents saying, I can't find my car, or whatever else is happening. So this really talks to earlier conversations so we can talk about it, so we can plan, we can mitigate things if we need to, or say, no, we need to cut this out.
And it defeats the purpose of having a community board when external parties are making decisions within our community and they have no idea, again, paths, business as usual, best practices. But, I'll say this, DOT just makes decisions and just keeps it kind of moving.
They do. I mean, in all candor, yes, they do. And that's not to say other agencies don't do it either. But you know what, that's
We
tough.
see the impact of it
Right.
quickly and we see it being done.
And we get the complaints, and our job as a community board and as a committee is to consider these things, and we escalate and advocate. So absolutely, this is what we're doing. So that's part of the job.
Has anybody been getting calls about, for the safety committee, about the garbage issue that's not being addressed at all in our community? Like at all?
To the committee, no, but I can check with Dante and the office. And
Where are you, talking
Every
specifically?
single alley is.
Okay,
has
so
not-
you're talking about the alley?
Yeah,
From what I've seen, they advise the people that have the normal pickup in the alley, that they have to bring their garbage to the curb.
so I go out of my alley every day, every
Mhm.
single day. I'm not a truck, a
Right.
little car. I go
Mhm.
out of my alley. To come here, I went through 3 alleys. If I can go through it, so can the sanitation truck. This is a bunch of BS that they can't get through. It's just an excuse not to come and pick up.
Depends if it's
The
shovel.
garbage on Kingston Avenue, let's talk about avenues. There is so much garbage going on, not even in the alleys. It's a community of garbage at this point.
Well, I'm not gonna say rubber stamp that. I mean, when you ride through there, they have all
But-
those,
But,
the
but,
RVs
but
and
listen,
double
but this is one of those
parking
things,
something.
this is one of those things, I don't have the
I feel like it's
information.
citywide.
It is.
I feel like there's, if you Google no taxation without sanitation, which came out in 1963, we giggle about it, but it's a heavy component, and when my grandfather bought around here in 63, Department of Sanitation did not want to pick up garbage from black-owned homes. Okay, so that's part of our systemic situation. Remember, 911 is a joke?
Yeah.
There's layers to many things. Part of that is not wanting to pick up garbage in this neighborhood, which at that time was white flight, black owners. What we speak of now, what many people think is that this snowstorm was that's the word I was looking for, a perfect storm.
It was.
A perfect storm to also, with our new administration, it's a sword fight. That's a nice word I'd like to use, that I think that we're seeing right now, because as we know, when the controller's office came and said we were currently within a deficit, some of the agencies were already being told there's a hiring freeze and there's an OT freeze. Some agencies, many of the workers live off of OT. And snowstorms are a great OT. And I believe partially what we are right now living in is a underground battle,
Milking the system.
milking the system and no sanitation until we receive the OT that you should be agreeing with young boy. Which is,
So they're rebelling,
You know.
I mean, I wouldn't say
it's-
it's necessarily
it's-
rebelling, I think
It
that's.
doesn't matter, bottom line is we don't have our garbage picked up.
Right,
And
and
bottom
that's a
line,
city
we have a
agency that's
mayor that has to
manipulating.
figure this out. This system has been here for a very long time. It's not a new corrupt system, it's an old corrupt system. You gotta figure it out and get our garbage out of
Well,
here.
our old corrupt system was just being as corrupt.
But our garbage was being picked up, that's all I
But the
care
thing
about.
is, this storm, people fail to realize this was the perfect storm.
We
There
also
was
have
a
had
foot
no-
of snow,
No rain,
one of the longest stretching freezing,
Cold freezing.
below
Yeah.
We're
freezing
living
temps
in an
that
ice
we've
age.
had
Yeah,
in
true.
5 years at
It's
least.
colder in New York.
But we have
than
to
it was in
remember that
Antarctica.
But we have alleys that are clear.
people don't like to be inconvenienced, and I
I don't
think
see
they're
how the
very.
alley
Inconvenience,
would be
Right.
clear.
on the
I
way
mean,
here, I
well,
saw
well,
three
let's-
rats,
let's-
three
I
rats.
used to work
Let's bring
behind
it,
those
let's bring it
alleys.
back,
You know
let's bring it back
those
in order,
alleys.
let's bring it back in order, hold on. So, I mean, but absolutely, I mean,
But just from a higher level in regards to, if you're truly synopsing what's going on right now,
Right.
we're all falling victim to a very massive slum that we're currently living in.
Right.
But there's factors of environment,
right?
and there's also factors of
But
administration.
what this all boils down to is this, accountability.
Exactly.
It's about accountability. And this is the reason why it's like, you know, for one, and you always hear me say, please tell people, call 311. Put the complaints
Take
in. It's the
pictures.
same way we were talking about NYPD with 311 and quality
Yeah,
of
well,
life.
Leah said that
Well,
the council called, the sanitation department, nothing's happening.
Okay, no, and, well, here's the thing, so
It's
let me check
two
in.
weeks later.
Well, let me check in with Mia, let me see what's going on, because honestly, I
Right.
don't have the data here, but that's exactly what we need to do, and there needs to be an accountability. Now, with that being said, to the points that Mr. Wiseman made, yeah, there's tons of snow around here, it's like, you know, you can't even get over a corner.
And the whole city looks horrible.
Yeah, it looks horrible, there's some of these things are ice bricks, and really and truly, it's like
Mixed
to
with
get.
dog poop.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
There's
Why you
that.
bring that up?
Oh, they don't even pick up no more. Just let it freeze.
Can I get like 5
But,
minutes
yeah.
on that?
Oh, my
So-
gosh.
So to that
Because,
point,
We know.
can I get
we know.
5 minutes on that
My
issue?
dog.
oh, no,
Come on, just
no,
5 minutes.
no, not 5 minutes for that.
I got a
2
weak
minutes.
stomach. I got a weak stomach.
Listen, I don't know why you're worried about dog poop when there's rats all over from this garbage.
I don't see any rats,
Actually, that's the funny
but
thing.
there's mounds of.
I know.
I
Let's
saw,
go outside my house.
on the way
So-
here, I saw three
Oh, my
rats,
God.
I saw two last night.
see rats.
But I also was walking by a pile of garbage. But I
Okay, there you
did,
go.
I
Well,
walked
my
by a
alley is
pile
a
of
pile of
garbage.
garbage,
Yeah.
my next alley is a pile of garbage.
I walked by a pile of garbage in Gowanus, Brooklyn, on an unshoveled block, say from here to the door. I needed to get into an event. I need to make a listening party. And was no way I could get, I couldn't cross the street. There was no way I could get in. And the garbage was maybe where these are. And I said, God, if you get me through this and get me to this event, we'll be okay. And I passed by and no rat jumped out and molested me or
Oh,
anything.
wow, lucky
But
you.
that's a very.
You gotta adapt to a feral cat, you know?
No, because cats, and because remember, we're also sometimes feeding them poison, and you don't
Well,
want.
I've had feral
To do
cats
that.
for years. I
Feral
had to get them for
cats?
the
When I
same
get a feral
reason.
cat?
They walk in
I got them
the
for the
street.
same
Wow.
reason.
Untamed.
We,
I
all
think
my
they
cats
live next- I
outside
think
that
they
live, happen to live
nicely
outside
next to one another.
or-
I
or-
haven't seen,
Yeah, I
are
got the,
spaded and neutered,
I
and,
see
we don't
feral
have any
cats and
rat
rats
issues.
live nicely together
I'm
here.
not so
in
sure
Brown
they're
Heights.
enemies.
They're not enemies, they live, pigeons, squirrels, feral cats, and rats, they're all a committee. What we need to bring into the neighborhood are more hawks. That's what we need to bring into the neighborhood, more
I'm not
hawks
seeing that.
and
eat
owls.
You,
These
Huh?
are
you
natural
are very
predators.
lucky. You are very lucky.
Yeah,
I get my cats, they come to the window every day, I feed them, I got the big bag.
But there hasn't
They
been
take
any
care.
update from DOS, it's like, you know, we're gonna be starting to go through alleys or.
Yeah,
Have
collect
not
the
heard-
garbage.
Have not heard anything yet, but.
What is the excuse?
I just told you what's going on.
And you don't even
Well,
answer
listen,
garbage
there's,
truck.
there's, to the
Yeah,
point,
but
right? No, well,
Yeah,
well,
but the regular rounds, they're not
Right.
coming.
Well, I
They're
wanna
on
make sure-
the OT.
I
They're
wa-
not coming their regular time.
no, but that's the
Streets are
thing, part of it is
priority over
because,
that.
well,
Not a
listen,
priority.
I don't wanna necessarily speak for Department of Sanitation. But what I'm saying is, the only point I wanna make is, I wanna make sure that the office is able to communicate with them, and they need to be accountable. If there is some reason why, then they need to state the reason why. Otherwise, they need to come up with a plan. What is the plan? What is the plan to address
Yeah,
this?
the plan
Because-
is I have to take 30 bags of garbage give me the OT then, and I'll go and do the sanitation's job. I don't have a problem. But why should I do the job it's somebody else's job? I don't have a problem.
But you
I-
know,
So
with all
they-
that snow and everything, to get the plow through first before you take a truck to even think about getting a truck stuck in the alleyway, then you come, then you start something even bigger than what it was.
Yeah,
So it's a big thing, and then safety, there's more people on the outside in the streets that are moving around in these vehicles, and they just put that as a priority, and everybody ended up with some garbage, I think.
so yeah.
Did they
You
let
know?
us know when all
But
the
this was
signs
a
come
perfect
back?
storm.
Not
That's
heard.
another thing, right?
Yeah, I have not heard
That's
anything.
usually they do that makes people have to move their car and then at least
And
one
clean,
side
and then
is
they can
clear.
clean the snow.
Yeah.
How would they
So
clean
how
the
long-
snow
when
if there's
is
no
that
alternate
supposed
side?
to- is
No,
that
it's
suspended
happening?
until Tuesday.
But that would cause
Every
ruckus,
day,
you know?
the air is being suspended.
Until Tuesday.
Right.
It's just a chaos.
But we can see from the office if we can get updates in terms of that they
That
can
would be
publish,
very
publish,
helpful.
where it's
Yeah.
like, this is what's going on, this is the
Yeah.
plan.
Yes.
And you know, and sometimes that's part of the point. We need to ask the questions, so that way they tell you what the plan is, and if there's not a plan, then you say, well, you need to get a plan.
Can we get a representative from sanitation that comes to our next meeting?
It's true.
We've had a meeting.
Come to the board
Here's the thing,
meeting.
typically
general
sanitation's
board.
probably gone over to the, environmental protection board. So,
Okay.
but in
When?
any case,
I
I
mean,
can
I
still,
haven't
Environmental
seen 'em.
protection,
Yeah.
they usually just come in.
but we'll, you know, but the point is the office will get an answer. The office can get an answer.
They haven't been coming to our.
But otherwise, always still encourage, please call 311, because when those calls go in, at the very least, what it might do is.
I call 311 every day. Do you know what happens with 311?
They just
They
close it
have a
out.
recording. If this is about sanitation, call the sanitation department. Then I call the sanitation department, and they were like, if you have a problem with your garbage, call 311. I do this every day,
What's our,
and every day's the same thing.
what's the,
You cannot get
DK9.
through to 311 anymore for garbage. They blocked it, that's it.
Okay,
Then when I push that, okay, it's not garbage, I like,
Mm-hmm.
and I get to a representative and I tell her it's a garbage, she's like, call the sanitation department.
no, but you know, but,
I
you
went there
know,
about my
Now
dog
escalating
poop,
to
I went there about my
Department of
dog poop, and he told me that they were waiting on, some of them to come from Queens to give them a hand, so they were waiting on help.
Yeah.
And that was about
Oh, is
three
Queens all
three
clean now,
days
it's
ago.
only us, the
Yeah,
Brooklyn
that's
people?
well, you can say that, but, that's his exact words, that he was waiting for help.
I do
How
wanna,
did you
I
get through to
do
someone?
wanna move.
I go to BK now, right there on New York Avenue, I walk right inside the place, and the manager's sitting right at the desk, supervisor.
Ah,
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I need to move on this, but the other piece, I just wanna make one last comment. That's
Right,
also
they're
good to
always
know as
sitting
well.
there.
If 311's not even doing that,
No.
that's a call, well, here's the thing,
Problem.
that's a problem. So, I mean, that's the kind of thing we wanna make sure
I
that.
call 311.
Right, no, but what I'm saying is, I could, until
Call
you,
the
until you said
sanitation.
it now, but until you said it now, I would've told anybody, call 311.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is where, as board members, especially if we know about this or we see this, this is where we can make the phone call and say, okay, listen, we're wasting our breath, don't call 311. We know there's a bigger issue.
Yeah.
Then we know there's a bigger issue and we need
Yeah.
to move somehow else.
Well, BK9 will answer the phone.
Okay,
We'll go with their phone, I've spoken to them.
okay.
and also Department of Health,
All of those avenues.
especially with the rat sightings.
How about the dog poopies?
That's more inconsiderate.
I wish I could put, can I please just get to, I call every day, I have 14 311 tickets. I tell them specifically, the dogs come between 8 and 10. I got a security camera that I'm looking at them.
Why do they come to you? They like your
I
house?
have curbside grass, I have a corner house, and I'm the only one basically around, but they're just basically idiots, I would say, because they have 3 dogs. They walk them all 3 on the side of my house 3 times a day. It is
Electric
piled up. It is piled up.
Who
So
are
they
you?
closed out 15 of my 311 tickets. I'm telling them 8 to 10 a.m. every day. Every day. They don't miss a day. So it's not hard for enforcement to actually catch these people. They close my tickets out at 5:30 in the afternoon, 5 at a time. You know,
Electric
Well,
fencing.
let me say this, because that's a known issue with 311 that I've always had a complaint about, because their thing is, for the productivity numbers, they like to say, oh, we close these things out quickly.
Mhm.
So for
No,
them, it's
but
like they
it's
closed it
sat there a
out,
while,
but they
though.
haven't done anything.
Yeah.
They're just saying we
Close it out,
received
but
it,
they
we're
do
addressing it, they
Right.
closed it out, they didn't do anything. But this all goes back to the point where it's always about, please keep the numbers, give them to the office so we can keep tabs on those. And by that same token, he's like, okay, we can make the follow-up in terms of, okay, we have this thing, it was closed out, the poop is still sitting there because we just talked to the resident, what's going on? So let's make sure that we're doing that.
Do you have cameras?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
make a still picture of it, start posting it around the
Yeah.
neighborhood. This is
Oh, I
the
mean,
poop
I could do
person.
that, but this is the step that I'm starting with first. I have the video, I've been sending them to him, I'm actually in connection with Borough President.
Good.
I just forwarded her my 311 tickets. These people came this morning, I put in tickets, every time I see them do it, I put it in, because I did approach them, and it was cold. And, oh, it's cold out here, I'm going in my house, and she just left, because I asked her, you're not gonna pick that up? So, the police are always at these people's house. And the reason why, so therefore, I'm not gonna approach anybody, that's like a public
Yeah,
safety
yeah,
issue,
yeah.
right?
Domestic
And
issue.
especially when, I'm a licensed gun owner. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to avoid any kind of confrontation with these people. But what do you do?
Harassing
But
somebody.
what do you do?
This is where accountability.
When it gets warm and when it was 50 and I open my window, I smelled it.
Oh, gosh.
Now, it's piled up on top of the snow. There was always a pile, a thick thing like this, a mess. So when this all melts, it's gonna be sitting right there. These people are complaining to me, which is making it a public safety issue, because it's like they think I poop there, they're parking their cars there and they're getting out their cars and they're touching it. So it's a big issue and nobody's helping me, and I'm bringing it out, and I don't know, I'm trying not to approach these people, but
No, don't approach anybody,
Yeah.
because it's a crazy world out there.
I've been pleading
But,
for help.
but here's the
I've been
thing,
pleading
but
for
to the
help.
point, so, and maybe let's talk offline with Mia and Dante about what we can do to push that as well.
Well, they
And
told
then-
me to call 311, and that's what I've been doing, and I've been
Let's-
sending them the tickets every
So let's see
day.
what the next step is, because the thing is, the problem with the enforcement on that, from what I understand, is they can't ticket something they didn't visibly see somebody
That's what
do.
enforcement is for. It says
Right.
on it, when you put the 311 ticket, it says a DSNY officer will come and observe the situation in hand for themselves,
So that's what
all
we're gonna
right?
do.
And that's what the 311 ticket says that they're gonna do.
Okay, so let's talk with Mia about that, and we'll see what we can do with that in terms
I mean,
of
this is getting
who's gonna
out of
sit in
hand.
front of there, because to your point, they're dogs and creatures of habit. They poop in the same spot all the time. So the point is, if you know the zone,
Anybody not
They'll be
famous, can I just show you a video?
No.
thanks.
we believe you, we believe you.
Enough
See,
we
all
have
right,
garbage.
all right.
We know how to
Okay,
do
all
it.
right, all right. I knew that'd get y'all.
All over.
It's enough I have garbage bags.
Matter of fact,
over here.
where's the big screen TV at?
All right, I wanna get back to water,
You
'cause,
should do a PowerPoint presentation.
let's get back to water. So that was just catching up on the conversations we had. SLA framework, we're gonna try and get that material in front of this committee for next month. If you have any suggestions or things, just get that in mind in terms of the suggestions or things you wanna bring, so we'll have a document we can look at, and we'll refine it and hopefully get it in front of the board as quickly as possible.
Do you have an old one that we can comment on?
No, this is a brand new thing.
This is brand new.
This is a brand new document.
And to speed up the process and to actually have, I can send you some prompts that I think could make it, because we're working just basically off of a wireframe. And then we have to do A/B testing. So
Well, let me ask this, I'll beg online, can you do that, or?
I don't have the capacity, I
Okay.
truly don't.
Okay.
I just started a new role at work.
No worries. So I'll tell you what, if there's any,
But I can send you recommendations of what to put into.
And that's fine, and that's fine. So if you have
Because that's just
recommendations,
top of
specific
mind.
items you'd like to see, send them so we can.
Framework, what is that?
No, so for the framework, what we're talking about for liquor licenses, we want to make sure that we're consistent as a committee and we're consistent as a board in terms of how do we look at a liquor license, how we treat it. For example, so one of the things we want to do is we want to avoid, if it gets to the floor, to the committee or to the floor, well, this place wants to stay open until 4 o'clock, this place wants to stay open until 3 o'clock, this place wants to stay open until 2:30. Hopefully we can come up with one time we say, you know what, automatically, it's like, you can be open up until this time. And we're not talking about it, we're not debating it, we're not trying to push times back and forth. And whoever comes in here, whoever comes to the district knows, throwing out a number, 1:30 is the time, that's it, we're not already.
One that's specific.
Is this brought up because of the gentleman from last
No,
month?
It was from before, no, it was from before.
No, we already for a year we've been trying
Yeah.
to do this.
That's
Oh.
from before, but that's just an example, but if there's anything
Example
else as
like
well.
when,
Yeah. And if there's anything else, like, for example, like one of the things we wanted to do is
And I see you
even
calling him a gentleman when they told us 20 lies and they even lied
Oh,
about me.
right. Other issues, like for example, soundproofing, so if there's certain standards we wanna set, we had talked about that. And we might have some materials in this part that we will try to see if we can send to you as well.
I don't mince words.
I know, I
I'm
see
very,
that.
I'm very clear.
But to that point,
I'm very
Missing
honest.
you when you ain't
All right, well,
sure.
if we could just, so if there's any materials or any ideas or suggestions you wanna make sure get included as part of the standards we have, please let me know and we'll try and incorporate it in. If you don't get it to me, that's fine, we'll have the discussion, when we get here as well, so we can make changes as necessary.
Okay, good.
Alright, so that's coming in for next month.
Is this all the community boards are doing this?
No, this is us.
No, it's just us.
This is us.
We're not allowed, we're not allowed to ask them, like, have you had any incidents at your business? No, 'cause I mean, last time I asked that, I got mixed, like, looks.
We ask who,
I think I asked one of the, people applying for the license, I asked him, what was it?
it's inbound to ask them, and typically the office, they already.
We already know.
Alright, so that's what I'm saying, so
No, we
don't-
pull those reports, so by the time he gets here, it's like, the question is, we can say, oh yes, they had, there's no complaints, or they've had several complaints spot.
Sometimes
But-
though,
but
they
that
don't-
might change a little bit too,
sometimes though, they
because-
don't have complaints and still,
Right.
remember when we were in the cannabis place, remember they had all those people hanging out when we went to visit them with the watchdog, and he wasn't checking anyone's ID, like this, it's like
Well,
addiction.
the one thing let me just throw this out though. That conversation was probably better in terms of looking at complaints when we had establishments coming for renewals. If these are brand new spots, they probably won't have a history, unless we're looking at the owner specifically.
Right,
So just something to keep in your mind as we're looking at that in terms of what we're asking people to do.
so when renewals come, so are we gonna we're gonna see this, or is maybe just the
We're
ones
still
that
gonna
are
see them.
flagged?
No, we're still gonna see them. They'll still come before. We're not specifically voting on them. It's more for informational purposes. And if people have inside scoop on, no, this establishment is a
SLA
problem.
makes the determination. if
Yeah.
it's change.
And just to.
So maybe we should have something, some kind of something that will indicate, that will show the difference between these and the ones that was flagged for any kind of issue. In other words, we're gonna look at this and I'm not even gonna look at this because it's basically a done deal, right? But like,
Right.
let's say now we're gonna have somebody that's flagged, but it's gonna be like the same yellow paper.
On these, what the
In other
team
words,
tried to do
once
is they
they
tried to
read
put
it,
notations
the
on there.
cops had to
Well-
come there.
Well, let me say this,
times.
part of what the team tried to do, these are the original forms, the notices that come in, and they put notations where they can. I know we were working on actually having an office, district form that they fill in, so that might be something that might be more helpful, where it's like the office can fill in, yeah, there's a problem with this.
Yeah,
And we'll make it more user-friendly, so that way when people read it, you can see exactly what you need to see up front.
right, and so that would be attached to, let's say, this yellow
Yeah.
paper. Okay.
And because it's a renewal, wouldn't the SLA will already know if there were prior incidents or.
SLA doesn't know.
Well,
it's- we don't.
SLA has it, but they're not sharing that information with
I
us.
won't share it.
But I think it's good for us to continue to say, no, we wanna know what the issues are and what the challenges are, because just from a community standpoint, we can still advocate for ourselves if we need to.
Especially if there are complaints coming to us.
Exactly.
I mean, cause wouldn't we hate to let somebody pass through, then something major happens, even though we weren't the ones that made the final vote, but
But that doesn't really sit on us, right?
Mhm.
It sits on, once a venue takes place, however, whatever customers or passerbys take place, that doesn't really sit on us. That sits on many different factors. As we know, randomness, can be type of clientele, can be the aspect, type of clientele, time of the year, could be all of those factors, things that don't always just sit with us. You know, a place could be of good standing, and again, something could take place that, you know, we can't, you know, where did Paul Castellano get killed at? Little Italy, right? So it's like you run in a nice restaurant and it's a mob hit. So, you know, those things, I think that there's some factors that once we approve, it approves. That's why we have renewals, so that it can be assessed what has been your business plan.
Well, and let me say this, let me say this, but I don't wanna, push off, one of the examples that sticks in my mind is the entire thing with the shooting that happened on Franklin Avenue.
I was just getting ready to say that.
Taste of the City was renewed without us.
Exactly.
They were renewed without us.
That club,
And when you looked at the paperwork, there was a ton of stuff about them. But because it didn't come through us,
Didn't I ask the question when they came through that time about his age limit and something
Well,
he
they
said?
changed
And it was supposed to have been a birthday party or something?
They changed things after they got their re-permit and stuff.
yeah, and that happens, and that's the reason why, and that's probably the reason why I think it's good for us to do the renewals, because we should know, and we're in the best place to say, yes, they're good neighbors, or no, this is a hell.
Exactly.
I thought for sure they was
Because-
shut it down.
As for me, as a residence member, I'm out there. So
Right.
I see what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
I'm
And that's the other piece, it's like, you know what,
I'm
one of the things that's, one of the problems that happens is, sometimes a lot of people complain, but if they're not putting them through, it's hard enough to get people to do a 311 complaint, never mind say, go to SLA and complain on them. So that's a conversation we need to figure out. On the one hand, we're not considering it, but on the other hand, I don't wanna necessarily just say we're dropping it. Because I think it's important that we have say so. Because we're on the ground, we live it. So we should be a part of that. I understand SLA doesn't have body count, they don't have the head count to do all this stuff. Sounds tough. You need to complain to their legislature about that in terms of needing more bodies.
So we're like the eyes, I mean.
We are, we absolutely are. That's what the community is and that's what these boards are. Okay, all right, so listen, so that completes the agenda for this evening. Are there any other items that we need to add for next month or, we want to follow up on?
Just really quick before we jump.
Sure.
When do you want the recommendations for the frameworks?
As soon as you can get them. As soon as you can get them, because I'll be drafting them over the month and I'll try to get those in the agenda. But if you don't get it, that's fine. Come with the materials ready to go.
I can set you up with the prompt, because I already put something slightly in
Send it over.
there. So,
Could you find out the procedure with the DOB as far as public safety? Because there was a neighbor that asked me to bring this up. They built another floor on top of their house, and DOB came and work stop order. That was 2 years ago, and this structure is still up there. This big heavy structure on a house that nobody knows if it's safe or not, along with the 12 inches of snow and stuff and the wind that we just had. And this has been going on 2 years. Can you just find out how people just keep going with this? Because that structure either should have been taken down. Because
It means that they're litigating. That's it.
Zoning issue.
Yeah,
They're in the
that's
middle
it.
of this and it could take years and years until they do.
And meanwhile, if it falls in, then what happens?
No. I don't think you have to worry about that. I think that the illegality here is they're not allowed to build another structure.
Right.
But nobody's gonna build something when the person downstairs could possibly get crushed by the second
Or
floor.
unless it's theirs,
Nobody
right?
was
Unless
gonna
it's
do
theirs.
that.
Unless it's theirs. I didn't say it was an apartment building, it was a
But-
home.
but if it's a
home.
specific- But if
Nobody's
it's a
gonna-
specific
But
issue,
it's a row houses, so
Yeah.
whatever happens to that house could affect adjacent
but if it's a
houses.
specific issue, let us know. Like, especially you said, there's a DOB, there's a 301 ticket open on already?
Well, I think they closed it and he's supposed to be going to court and take care of the issue
Stop
for
order,
2
right?
years.
Right.
Yeah,
Stop
it's a
order. So
stop
the stop
order.
order.
This isn't.
Okay, if there's a stop work order, that's fine. If it's getting violated.
So,
Backed up.
but when he gets his
Court
court
backed
date,
up.
they just keep going and
And
2
journey
years.
stuff.
And that's,
But
and
the
that's
issue
a,
comes
that's a
in-
safety issue.
Yeah, but the issue comes in,
Nobody's
if you're
happy
seeing
with
work
that.
happening, if you're seeing work happening, please
Right.
be
So,
sure.
so everybody just says that's the way it is and then you just leave it and that's it?
It's kind of like my garbage.
Oh, and like my poop.
chaos
Exactly.
is commerce.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a little bit quicker when you put in a complaint. It comes down.
When you do what?
When you put in a complaint, DOB will come and shut you
Well,
down.
let's do this, let's do this. So seeing unless there's anything under the business, let's adjourn. If you want to hang for a few minutes, we can do
Because
that.
NYPD is walking in, so either somebody here is getting arrested, or they're here to talk to us.
Okay, but I can do rest because I can't be near my garbage anymore.
Good evening.
You walked in just in time,
Just
all
the
right.
time we're about to.
We were going to close, but now we're gonna stay with you. Okay, all right, so we had moved, we're gonna go back to item number 6 then. So we have NYPD community check-in. So thank you very much for coming this evening. At this time, we will open the floor, so if there's any reports that you have in terms of crime in the district, any new initiatives, anything you can share. And we might have a couple of questions from the committee, if that's fine.
Okay, so, well, I'm Officer Hill. And
Thomas, Officer Thomas.
we're the quality of life officers for the 71st Precinct. She's in charge of Sector Adam, which would be this vicinity here. I'm more in charge of Sector Charlie, which is the Flatbush, Clarkson area corridor. They'll should never further that way. There's other officers assigned, but they're not here.
Who is D now?
Sector David is Detective Trim.
Oh, you still there?
Yeah, he's still
Okay.
Trim, and then you have Detective Boyle, Officer Ramon, and Detective Davis.
Are you still having the builder block meetings?
So because of the transition of the quality of life, they no longer, they basically ask the build a block meetings. So we're more come to these type of meetings or like, it's the community, the.
Precinct.
Yeah, so that's where we more attend, but no longer,
Builder.
NYPD phased that out.
Okay.
As far as initiatives, as you know, quality of life, we basically focus on 301s and other quality of life issues like open air, drug use, open containers.
Yeah.
We more specifically handle that. We more specifically handle the 301. We monitor that, and we have to basically we track the report times and et cetera. And it's basically the same as what NCO is doing, just more emphasis on quality of life.
Yeah, just 301,
And
basically
301s.
complaints like blocked driveways,
Yeah.
stuff like that, like hydrants.
Yeah. So I can say that 301, we've been responding to 301s.
But you have an issue with that? Of blocked
That's
driveways?
a lot of little things I
Wait,
can
wait,
do.
wait for questions.
No, no, no,
Hold on,
because he
hold on.
said, he made us out, so I was like, you have something?
So he sat up in the chair, hold on. We'll let him finish first.
Yeah, so with this new unit, our quality of life and as far as 311s, our response times have been better. We've been responding, especially with us in, because there's 2 teams. There's a night team and a day team. My partner and I are part of the night team, the day team. They're not here, obviously, because of the day. But we responding to the 301 complaints a lot better, more efficiently. It's been monitored. You can always, if you need the documentation, feel free, we can provide you that. But other than that, questions?
How are y'all responding to these abandoned vehicles with plates? I mean, at one point, you guys used to tag them with the sanitation sticker, or you used to put a blue or yellow sticker. Blue was yours for
Blue
your
is-
removal, and yellow was for the sanitation. I don't see you guys doing it, and actually I called for an abandoned car on the side of my house, and they responded, and the person whose car it was that's leaving it there, it's been there for like 2 years, actually yelled at my window like he got information from the cop that I'm the one that actually called, to make the complaint. But when you guys seen that, are you tagging the cars or what are y'all doing? I've been hearing for like a couple of years, you have no tow trucks and.
Oh, no, so we do, every month. We
Oh
do
yeah,
a
when's the next
tow
tow?
op? So we do
Tow
a tow
op,
op,
yeah.
so last month,
That's the question.
we do the tow ops, yeah, and essentially, we tow, us as quality, so you probably putting in a 301 complaint, and
Mhm.
it's probably not the quality life officers responding, it's
Right.
probably patrol,
Mhm.
and patrol has their own way of doing things.
Yeah,
compared
we
to
know
others.
Yeah, so that's what I said, because we go to that, like,
So
that's
how
it's.
do you get it forwarded to the quality?
So-
You got a physical.
So you can always call, you can
Yes,
give your card,
we give you a card,
or we'll
yeah.
mark it, and what we do, we go around the whole precinct, we mentally tag or we
Yeah,
write
we
down
make a
cars,
list.
make
I
a
have
list,
Trent's
and then-
number. I was gonna give him a call.
and then we pick
yeah.
up the cars during the tow op. So usually during a tow op, we organize with a tow company. They come, they send about 4 or 5 trucks, and we would tell them, man, we're trying to take 12 cars, and then we go to the cars, and then we take the cars, and that's it. And
So somebody like me that's been complaining a long time, how do I get on that list instead of you guys going
Are you-
randomly somewhere where people are not complaining? how can I get my, my target area?
So how are you making the complaint? Are you like
I go
actually
online.
listing the vehicle? Cause sometimes people just list like the
The
vehicle,
the
and
color,
that's it.
the make.
Oh, you list all
Yeah, I
that?
used to put my name and stuff until the
Mhm.
cop came and said, I'm giving a ticket, you know, which was very rude, and I'm looking at him on the camera, you know, so, you know, so I just wanna know if I can get my thing on the list and I ain't gotta make myself,
So-
visible.
It's just that you said you have some rapport with Trent, right?
Yeah, I do.
So you can just reach out to him, send him a text or call him and say, hey, this car, he'll mark it down on the next tool and
Yeah.
definitely be
Okay,
taken.
alright, I'm gonna see if he's gonna push through with that.
Alright, okay, so actually, are you guys finished? Did you have anything else? Or-
No, yeah, whatever.
Okay, so listen, if you have a few minutes, if we can just take some questions from the committee. Ms. Hartley, do you have any questions?
No, but I think that I spoke with you last week in regards to a blocking on Empire Boulevard. And it was a car that was parked, on the street and blocked my mom's house. They expedited it, I told you, within an hour. I will say that what I have been seeing on Empire between Brooklyn and Kingston are a number of large buses, like, they're not a school bus.
RV.
No, bigger than that. It's the bus you take to Atlantic City. I don't know how to describe it.
Greyhound.
Okay.
Right,
Greyhound bus.
right.
Coach buses.
Coach buses,
Coach
that's the
buses,
word,
yeah.
right, coach buses. They've been parked on Empire in the daytime. I
Was
saw
this last week?
last weekend and then the weekend
They had the
before
So
that.
they
A
had
girl
the,
thing.
yeah, they had the women's
The women's
convention.
convention.
Okay, that's
yeah.
great.
Yeah,
But
so,
it blocked Empire Boulevard, right?
so, I definitely understand,
To put that.
but,
They
so
weren't
that's,
even in a bus.
yeah, the buses were driving around,
Right.
so that's coordination, I don't know how, we can ticket them, but I guess that women's convention is above us.
Yeah.
actually.
Right.
So that's more of a kind of,
Yeah,
I can't say,
yeah.
I really wouldn't know how to, because that was due because of that was happening, so they were driving around, dropping off. And like I said, they were there in the meeting, and I have no problem ticketing, but I guess it has to be better coordinated with whoever is coordinating with, you know, to tell them they can park here, specific areas, but I wouldn't.
I
would be-
mean, for us to live in,
Yeah.
especially on Empire, for the heavy ticketing that takes place all the other times for smaller vehicles,
Yeah,
to see 3-4 coach buses on a Sunday, one blocking the box,
yeah.
right? Then there's an exhaustion issue, so that's an environmental issue. It's also huge blind spots, especially with the snow and all of those things. And so, you know, again, it's sort of,
I 100% agree.
do it, you know, and then when it is called, and that's not just that last Sunday, there was another one that I had called on, I don't have the date exactly, so they, and I have found that Empire between Brooklyn and Kingston has now become sort of this hub that you would think is sort of like, I don't know, George Washington Bus Terminal. Like, you're just seeing like a large amount of commercial vehicles parked in the middle of the
Oh, in the
street. We're
middle.
not
Yeah, no, I know.
not even doing deliveries,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I can understand if it has to do it. But even then, like, that's been a supermarket from when it was Bernstein's, all right? I'm taking it back. Before it was Kosher Supermarket, before it was Associate, when it was Bernstein's, and now you have commercial vehicles parked in the middle of the street. That's an exhaust issue. They create a blind side. Lamont Court and Balfour are still technically crosswalks because people can still turn
Mhm.
there, and you can't see what's coming
Mhm.
if there's a large vehicle coming from east to west. And, you know, it just goes, you know, it's like Wild Wild West.
So, in response to that, when we get 3-1 complaints like they're blocking the median, my partner and I and all my other colleagues, we do go there, initiate tickets,
Yeah.
and hopefully we hope that that's deterred, and we tell people if they when we see them trying to park there, we tell them you can't park there, but, the
My hands are
most,
kind of tired.
yeah,
as
the
far as-
most we can do
Yeah.
is
The
just
course of
because of
action
the
is 311,
event.
take images.
take images and we
Right,
go
take
there.
images,
and
leave a call back
Expedited.
as well, leave a number so we know, cause sometimes they gone on arrival when we do show up and they're not even there anymore.
Okay,
So if you do show pictures that show that it was actually there, you know what I mean? So,
okay.
And then most of the,
I mean,
we're
should we
in
have
the
something like
summons,
that on
but
the e-blast,
Hopefully
like where
that's-
the public knows
they get
that,
the idea this
that,
concept.
you know, a
that's
lot
the
of
most
these
we can
large
do.
events like
Yeah.
that somehow just get
Yeah.
public doesn't even know
Yeah.
about it, because if I know something like that is going there, I'm gonna go around the other way when I'm
Right.
driving.
Yeah.
Or I'll go this way.
Yeah, it's a
So
good-
It was
these-
Yeah.
for coach
I'm
buses.
gonna touch
Yeah,
on
because this
that.
is every single year, they should already have that.
Situated,
Well,
yeah.
They should
Well,
already.
well, let's
they let
do
it
this,
come in.
let's do this, so just make sure we go through the,
No.
Consideration.
okay, let's come to order, let's just make sure we go through all the committees, everybody will have an opportunity.
So that was just mine.
That was it?
I just wanna say, that was expedited quickly with the, Yukon that was parked. Half of its ass was on the block, and then the rest of it was on the street. I was like, and I don't know how to park. 25 years have my license, but still, like, I'm a really bad parker, but this was astronomical. But by the time everything came down, it was taken care of again. Having the images there, it was expedited. But the coach buses, that situation is ridiculous. And again, it creates blind spots in an already city of people who are recklessly driving, as we know, within that.
Let me ask this
And
one
a
quick round.
uptick
Hold on.
in pedestrian accidents in that area.
Yes.
Is this persistent, was it a one time, or is it something that happens every once in a while?
The
or-
coach buses, this is the Sunday it took place, and then I had mentioned to you before, there's a coach bus that was parked between 551 Empire and there was two coach buses between 551 Empire, so that's right where the Lamont Court is, and then coming into 563. So it was two on the block in the middle of the afternoon on a Wednesday. And this isn't, if this is, Sunday will be the 15th, so that would have been the 8th. So no, it's not the 8th. This I called in regards to, it was January. So it had nothing to do with the recent convention.
Okay.
So I feel like they're just using Empire Boulevard
And,
as a sort of
Like a
rest
bus
stop.
depot.
and that's the one thing I wanna make sure, because every once in a while you might have a church trip, okay, fine,
Yeah.
it's a minor inconvenience for a
Atlantic
day.
City.
If it's persistent or it keeps popping up or something like that, those are the kinds of things.
But what's crazy is that, like, the 43 bus stop is right there, right? Which allows a certain amount of space on that to be double parked on the, what would we call, this is the north side, on the north side of Empire, it's not a very good rationale. Because when my grandmother was doing bus outings, she did it at a bus stop, you know? But I guess it's just, honestly, sometimes it comes across as just an abuse of power, and because they're only gonna be there short term, expediting, getting someone there, you know, but you never know. We speak a lot about pedestrians, and accidents and, you know, being at risk.
And we looking right
Then on
at it.
top of the scooters and the mopeds and whatever the hell else is coming down, you know, you're putting a lot of people at jeopardy in their attempts to cross the street in those two crosswalks. That's all.
Ms. Maxwell?
I'm good, thank you.
Ms. Munchkin?
So I have two questions. Do you guys have any, update from the Department of Sanitation on when alley garbage pickup will be?
We all wanna know that.
It's just a yes or a no?
No.
Okay, no. Okay, so next question. 2 meetings ago, we had a group of people from a block association, and we sent them to the Quality of Life. They are on Union Street between Rogers and Bedford, and the church on Eastern Parkway and Rogers goes all the way through to Union. And the back of the church had some kind of bricks falling, so they put up a scaffolding. And now the scaffolding's been up there several years, and they say behind the scaffolding, which comes all the way down to Union Street to the sidewalk, there is
Hang on.
all kinds of bad things going on, from open drug use, open alcohol use, you know, sex. Mostly, they say, it's kids in the afternoon, they come home from school, and for an hour, they're just,
You said Union and, what's
Yeah,
the-
what-
Union?
You know the
It's-
Philadelphia church over on,
Union and.
Union and
Sorry,
Rogers.
One on
it's
Eastern?
one,
yeah, the Philadelphia church is on Eastern
Eastern,
Parkway,
yeah.
but the backside
Eastern
of
Park,
it. Yeah.
it's one house in from Rogers, Union and Rogers.
Okay.
So closer to Rogers, not closer to Nostrand, because the Philadelphia church, what used to be the movie theater,
Yeah.
close to the phone company, that's more Nostrand.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe
that's what
you're
I'm-
right.
yeah, that's what I'm
Because I was
saying,
thinking-
that's what I'm like.
Yeah,
Yeah, Munchie.
It's
Yeah.
Nostrand
It is
and
Nostrand.
Rogers, yes, it's
So
exactly
Nostrand.
across the
So,
street.
next to
right-
Munchies,
Yeah,
the food
exactly,
establishment.
Munchies on the corner and
Oh,
right
I-
next to it,
I
I'm sorry,
understand.
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's between Nostrand, closer to Nostrand, between Nostrand and Rogers, so I don't know if you guys ever followed up on that, they were really, really upset that this happens on their corner, and they came here to try to talk to us. The first thing we did is, you guys had been previously at our meeting, and we told them.
So, I guess if, I don't know if it was brought to, because that sounds like the time of day, it's more in the early in the day.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So that's more kind of the day team, so I don't know if it was brought to their attention, so my partner and I
Yeah.
will make
We
sure.
would, yeah, that's why I'm like, where, you said Nostrand and Union?
Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
the
that's
Scott
what
Routine next to
one,
Munchies.
one store.
Oh,
in-
right there,
Right across
oh,
from Brooklyn
okay.
Greenhouse. So
Yeah.
typically the same, the kids from,
Oh, like the
Prep
school,
school.
the prep
Yeah,
school,
prep school,
okay,
they're going
usually
over
go
there
over
and hang
there.
out.
Right, so
So-
they eat, they throw garbage.
Oh.
Yeah.
At night, people will be drinking.
Yeah, yeah.
and-
So we've
know.
gone there, done quality of life enforcement, and my partner and I have gone there and summons people during there, because a lot of the times, like you said, they're drinking open container,
Right.
or there's like,
This scaffolding
I don't,
provides the perfect,
I-
you know,
so for I can say my partner and I, we've definitely gone there, and for people,
Okay, good.
public
Okay,
urination,
good.
open
That's-
container, but
that's
as far as the
cool.
dates or time, the kids, that's more of the date team, but I would
Okay,
let
you
them
can
know,
tell them,
and
yeah,
we'll just
okay,
coordinate with that, okay?
okay.
Okay, good?
Yeah.
Ms. Cohen?
I have no comment.
There's too many counts.
Ms. Carr?
Yes, I had a question, like, so what are the hours of the day team and the night team?
So the date team is, they work from 10 a.m. to,
6:35. Then we do 3 to 11:35, so 3 p.m. to 11:35.
So yeah, technically overlap.
Yes, we
Yeah.
do, so certain hours we do.
and then,
3 p.m. to 11:30.
yeah.
11:35, yes.
And then their days off are Friday, Saturday, the day team, and ours are Sunday,
Sunday,
Monday.
Monday.
And then we have that's our set schedule, but sometimes things happen as far as like we have
Getting
a
used
son
for sign-offs,
details or
yeah.
something like that, so we may be working that day but not doing that specific function because we got pulled to do probably
Yeah.
backfill with
Mhm.
patrol, help out patrol or something, yeah, so, but those are our working hours regardless, we will be in those days. So it's just-
You say you have cards, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I can give you one,
Thank
yeah.
you. Appreciate that.
I should have put that corner right.
Oh, yeah, even
What do we do after 11 o'clock
After 11, as far as what?
in
Like
regards to?
311 complaints?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
if somebody's
we-
playing music at midnight.
You still.
Yeah, you
Automatic
can still
311
do it,
complaint.
but patrol is gonna respond.
Boss
to
said
it.
that's-
Okay, so it goes back to the traditional.
Yes,
Yeah, so-
exactly, yeah.
Okay.
I'm be honest, response time may not
It's
be the
delayed.
best because
Right.
they're handling 911 calls.
Prioritization.
And
Right.
yeah, so it might take a little longer, cause usually we just respond to the
To that.
311, so
So-
that's why it's usually faster.
So are we calling 301 and you're the ones that are showing up?
Yes,
Yes.
we
So
are
we're not
responding.
call- So we're not calling you?
Sorry?
In other words, your card is, you're giving us.
No, so our card is more if it's like
If it's
how-
actually like an issue, like he was saying, like stuff like that, like the abandoned
reference.
vehicles, like certain stuff, or yeah, if you
point of
have an
contact.
issue,
Yeah, like it's no different of like when NCOs, we dealt with the
Yeah, yeah,
NCOs
yeah, I
and
know
how we
what
give our
you're
cards,
doing.
it's
Pass
just,
it around.
Pass it around.
so if you have like a specific issue and you feel like it resolves, needs a direct immediate attention, our card, you can call our number or text us and or email us and we would handle that.
Do you have a card?
So I have something like that, but I didn't bring it. I can give you my
Last
written.
time you didn't bring it either.
No, this is-
I remember this very clearly.
Oh, wow.
So this is not like a mistake.
No. I have the ones that you write it in, but it's like it's so like
Okay, write it in, go ahead, write it, I'll take it with the rest.
I just have a question. I mean, to everybody, like, wouldn't it make sense if we, like, the fire hydrant calls, the double, park, the crosswalks, during the normal day hours when, traffic is out there, chasing people away from businesses, but anyway, that they go to those type of calls, which would free you up to do other kind of calls, right? Yeah, so why wouldn't they have that transferred over, like,
I-
during the day hours,
Yeah.
if I 311 block crosswalk, instead of
Us going.
911 responders going, have traffic respond.
So
And then once night comes in or whenever they stop,
Then we
actually
just go in.
it
and
go
start
back
doing-
to the regular thing. That would ease up
That would.
So we talked about that, because a lot of this can be faster response time and a lot of
Like
stuff.
traffic.
If traffic, yeah.
But that's.
In one ear and out the other.
That's the NYPD.
Is, like you said, that's
Yeah.
above us. That's,
All right, so, thank you very much. I just have
Pass it back.
Sure, I'm sorry. Just a couple quick points. One,
Precious.
thank you for coming out this evening.
Yeah.
We would,
Appreciate
we
you.
wanna keep this an open invitation, because we meet out on a monthly basis. And we always have questions where things pop up, so it's like, if, we can give you the calendar if it's possible, or make the arrangement. So somebody's here, we can just have it. We can always put you at the top of the agenda, so you don't have to stay too long, just say hi and this is what's going on.
Yeah.
The other piece of that too is, and if we coordinate, we'll try and see if we can send you the information. If you have a report you can provide, I'm particularly interested in terms of what's the impact, because I know we're going from the whole NCO system to quality of life, and I know the whole thing was about, we're trying to get those kinds of complaints resolved and bring the complaints down and everything like that, and I know you said that we're coming down on times.
Yes.
But I believe in the data as well, in terms of what kinds of complaints are we getting, how fast are they being responded to, what kinds of resolutions, or if there are trends that we should know about as a district in terms of, all of a sudden we're seeing abandoned cars, or now we're seeing more speeding, or a lot more, public urination, or whatever it is, but just what kinds of things we're dealing with in the district. But again, let me close with saying it again, thank you very much for coming this evening. Really looking forward to working with you. Great to see you, stay safe out there.
You
and
too,
looking
thank
forward
you.
to
All right,
staying
thank you
safe.
for having us.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it. Have a good night, guys.
That's fine.
So be careful.
In that way. There you go.
All right, so with that, we have completed our agenda. So remember, we got some homework, send me any information you want to have.
I can show you what I worked
All right, I'll sign it since I didn't do it.
All right.
I'll forget.
So with that being said, as we complete our agenda, we stand adjourned. Time is now 8:17. Thank you very much.
What?
So,